Previously on Menya Health Hub.
ntabwo ushobora kuba byabaho ko wahura n'umuntu ukavuga ati ndabona uriya muntu afite indwara yandurira mu mibonano mpuzabitsina, ntabwo bishoboka.
Uburagaza ni indwara ifata igitsina gabo, igitsina cy'umugabo iyo yayirwaye hazaho ibisebe ku gitsina cye. Iyo bitavuwe kare igitsina cy'umugabo gishobora gucika.
Tunaboneraho duhamagara abantu kwisuzumisha. Niba uzi ko uherutse kwisanga wakoreye aho utaririye bombo mu ishashi cyangwa se wamanutse Kizimbabwe nk'uko twahoze tubivuga mu kanya, nyine ni byiza kujya ku kigo nderabuzima, bazagufasha kandi ku buntu. Hari serivisi ihari ya visiti.
So welcome back to Menya Health Hub, where we're going to teach you everything related to reproductive health and teenage pregnancy. So greetings to everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the role of contraception in reproductive health and promoting unplanned pregnancies. So today we have two incredible guests with us who are going to help us break down the topics. Who are going to help us answer all the myths and misconceptions that we have about reproductive health and, most importantly, contraception. So please, whether you're here to learn or challenge yourself or grow, stay with us because we are going to be having a really fun conversation, and continue staying with us on this line. Thank you very much. And as we welcome our guests, please stay on the line.
So thank you so much for having me today. My name is Akeni Mahoro, and I work as Communications Associate for Contraceptive. Contraceptive is a social enterprise working here in Rwanda to promote maternal, child, and reproductive health. We are the sole producers of reusable sanitary pads, which are called Cosmo pads, and we are very happy to join the conversation about contraceptive health today.
Thank you for a warm welcome. My names are Dr. Nishimwe Mwari. I'm a general practitioner, and I've worked plenty of times with women regarding gender, sexual and reproductive health, and I'm very excited and happy to be here. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. So I hope all of us are going to stay together in this conversation. So I believe all of you have been hearing all the whispers about the rising of teenage pregnancies here in Rwanda, or particularly in the whole world. So we are here most importantly for the youth. We are here for those people that haven't got the rights or the opportunity to tackle or get the information. If you have any questions, feel free to write them in our comment sections and we'll be able to get back to you. So our first question is going to go to Akeline. So why do you think contraception is important, most particularly for the youth and particularly in the context of Rwanda?
Thank you so much for that good question. If you ask me why contraceptive is important in Rwanda way or in the world at large, I will first based on the effect that happens when contraception is not adopted. For instance, in Rwanda, we are fighting with the problem of rising teenage pregnancy and also the unwanted pregnancies for mothers and for families.
Yes.
You will see today that you talk to a mom and you'll be like, I just saw it happening. Meaning maybe they don't know. Meaning it means that this is a topic that we have to go deeply and we explore so that we let the community and the society know the different ways that are available that they can adapt and use so that maybe we can fight those effects that happens when the contraception is not happening. Yeah.
Okay, that's really right. So I hope we all understand now why contraception is important. Not only does it affect your personal well-being, but it's also going to affect the family well-being, the economic of the whole country at large, and Rwanda as well. So as I believe most of you think contraception is all about pills or condoms or whatever types most of us know, but we're really going to dive in and really know the different types and how they work of different contraceptive methods. So to Dr. Higet, what are the different types of contraception that are out here, mostly that are available to Rwandans now, and how do they work?
So thank you so much for that question. There's a lot of methods for contraceptions, and I think it's quite good that we talk about all of them. So starting first, and foremost, I think the most important contraceptive method should be abstinence,
For sure.
especially for youth. If you think that you are not ready to use any type of contraceptions, or you do not plan to have any pregnancies, I think it's better that you abstain until you're ready to raise kids. And in terms of financial or even emotional readiness of having kids.
That's true.
So, yeah.
Feeling, do you also believe that?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
So the second method, contraceptions can be classified in various types of methods depending on how they work. So the other method for contraception can be classified under barrier methods, and there we have condoms. I'm pretty sure we are all acquainted with how condoms work. And if you're not, please do your research. So that is, it's actually cheap, and not only does it prevent unwanted pregnancies, it also prevents from sexually transmitted infections. So the second one is hormonal.
I think that's the only way that actually prevents sexually transmitted infections.
Yeah, that's true. So the second method, we have hormonal methods. In those hormonal methods, there's birth control pills that you take on a daily basis. We also have injections that are taken on a 3 months basis, and we also have implants that are implanted in the arm. All of those have also patches. All of those have hormones that are released to help in prevention of ovulation, thickening of the cervical mucus, and also thinning of the uterus lining. And all of those will play a key role in preventing fertilization and also implantation of the embryo, hence preventing unwanted pregnancies, of course. And also we have intrauterine devices. As the name says, the devices are inserted in the uterus. So we have copper intrauterine device, which is, it releases copper that is toxic to the sperms. And we also have hormonal IUD, commonly known as Melena, sometimes Skyla, that also releases hormones to thicken the mucus. It works the same way as birth control pills. Yeah. And we have the next methods are permanent methods. For female, they are called bilateral tubal ligation. So the fallopian tubes are cut to prevent the ovums from flowing from the ovaries to the uterus. And we also have vasectomy for males. So these ones, obviously, when you do it, they are irreversible, and that means you can never have children again. And we also have emergency contraceptions. Some call it Plan B. That is, or morning after pill. That is used in the morning after the
Sexual
relations, or even any time after sexual relations.
Again, how many hours is it effective? The emergency contraception?
I think 72 hours before, so no later than 72 hours after your sexual intercourse.
And
And
I hope you're getting that.
be aware. So the next ones are fertility awareness methods. So here there's counting, which is the calendar method. So you count when you'll be ovulating. So there's period time, there's ovulation, and there are days where you are least fertile, and there are days where you're most fertile. So in the days where you're most fertile is when you are highly likely to get pregnant. There are a lot of applications to help in tracking your menstrual cycle. They have bracelets that can help you count your days.
Around, I think it's called Urunigi.
Urunigi, but this one, you need to be vigilant, because sometimes days can change or not. But that's how the calendar method works. We also have basal body temperature, where in the time of ovulation, the temperature will increase. Then that's when you will know that you're most highly likely to get pregnant. So it's better that you avoid sexual intercourse in such periods. and we also have cervical mucus method. So the mucus of females can thicken or thin depending on the cycle in the menstruation. So when it's thin, that's when you know that you're high likely to get pregnant because it's approaching ovulation.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we have the withdrawal method. I'm not sure if I can advise withdrawal method, but
It's risky.
yeah, it's risky, but it's part of the contraceptive methods. So I think that sums up in general how all the methods that we have. But definitely, if you're gonna choose a type of contraceptive method, it's better that you do some research. There's Google, there is ChatGPT to help you get better acquainted with which type you want to use or which type you prefer the most. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's for sure. So the contraceptive methods are really many and available. So according to what you prefer, according to what your body is able to get, you can be able to get them from anywhere, from health centers to our district hospitals or to big hospitals. So now one of the most biggest challenges around isn't just about the access or the information about contraceptive methods, but I think it's about the misinformation about the contraceptive methods. So I believe most of us have different wild claims about contraceptive or whether of how to use them correctly or which type is good, which type is not. So we are going to challenge you on the different misconceptions that are around the use of contraceptive methods. So to Akeline, what misconceptions do you believe that are out here that us, the youth, think that are hindering our use of contraception, but otherwise they're fine?
Okay, yeah. So I think for everyone who is viewing, first write in the comment what you have heard as a misconception about.
Write in the comments.
So, the first misconception should be people say it's 100%. Let me tell you guys, it will never be 100%. Because even if you say a condom, not 100%. Only thing that can be 100% would be abstinence, right?
Yeah.
Abstinence. If you want 100% thing, have abstinence. So the second one, most of people say when you use contraceptive methods, mostly for us girls, they say it's for women. So people say when you use them, you get infertile. You are not going to give birth in the future. That's wrong, for sure.
Yeah.
Use the contraceptive methods if you don't want unwanted pregnancies. So I can add another one. Some people say even when you use like the depot, and those injections, you're going to become like a pig. You'll be big, which is long. Try it once and tell me.
For sure. So we are going to play a small game. So I'm going to be asking you some questions and going to say if it is true or not. Let's go to our first myth. So they say that a pill causes permanent infertility. Is it true or false? So our first myth question is going to go to Dr. Iget. So do you need contraception while you have irregular periods or an irregular menstrual cycle?
Definitely. I believe contraceptions are not there for people who have regular or irregular periods because the point of contraceptions mostly is preventing pregnancy. So you could get pregnant when you have irregular periods or not. So
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So most people with an irregular menstrual cycle mostly think they would not get easily pregnant, but everything is possible, so watch out.
I actually think the risk is more higher.
More high, yeah, since they're not even aware
they're not where their cycle is, so I think the risk is higher for people who have irregular periods.
Sure.
Okay. So another myth to Akeline. So can you get pregnant while breastfeeding?
Yes.
Since most people think while breastfeeding you can't get pregnant, where most kids come from.
No, that's a myth. You can get pregnant while you're breastfeeding. Although research shows that for the first 6 months, they say breastfeeding can work as a contraceptive method. But please, you better use a better one, which is trusted.
That's very true. So again, to Dr. Iget, do you think withdrawal, as you said, do you think could be a reliable method for contraception?
So withdrawal method is really, really user dependent, and I feel like it's not reliable because you'd think you have withdrawn at the right time, and then you find out you are late.
Anyway,
So I really think it's a risky contraceptive method.
that's going to ask
really
for a
risky.
good compilation. And when you ask people, they'll be like, that's when like the action is so good. I'm not the withdrawal, so that's not good.
Yeah.
Watch out, youth. So another myth to Akeline. So most people believe while they use contraception, they're going to have birth defects, like once the child is born. Do you think that's true?
Of course not. Please, Menya Health is here. If you have any myth that is going like that, you better type the comment because people are talking so many things. So if you feel like there's a myth relating to that, then we need to elaborate on that on the future one podcast. Please write it here. But that's a myth. Get here, sit, learn,
And learn, yeah, for sure. So there is also another challenging topic to Dr. Iget. So people think it's a women's responsibility to have contraception. So it doesn't, how do they say, in Kinyarwanda, they say, bireba abagore gusa. Do you think that's true?
Obviously, as a female, I think that's not true. I feel like contraception is for both males and
Male and
female.
females, yeah.
And while we have most of the contraceptive methods are entirely for female, that's true. But I don't think that contraceptions are entirely for females. There are some methods that males also can use, like condoms, like vasectomy, and I believe we also have pills that have been introduced for males, although that is still new, but females are not the ones concerned only.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
So to another next myth. So if you have other myths that we haven't talked about, please feel free to write them in our comment section and we'll be back to you. So they say the emergency contraception or the morning after pill terminates pregnancy. Do you think it's true?
Oh no. So for people who doesn't know the Plan B or the morning after pill, that's aiming for killing the sperms. You can say killing the sperms for 72 days. That's when the fertilization is not yet done.
Okay.
Yeah. So it means when you use this Plan B, or yeah, it's a Plan B. If you use this Plan B, you're going to kill the sperms, but not the baby. So if whatever church you go to, if you have done this thing, I mean the sexual intercourse last night, and you don't need this pregnancy and you're afraid, go have a Plan B. Visit any pharmacy and buy it.
That's really right. So to our last myth and misconception. So people believe, I believe IUDs are one of also the most effective ways for preventing unplanned pregnancies. So most people think IUDs are only for women who have given birth or for girls who haven't given birth. So what is true and what is not?
That's actually a beautiful thing to talk about. Most people believe that IUD is for female who have given birth, but that's wrong.
Yeah.
Any female with a uterus can use IUDs.
That's a good one.
And that doesn't exclude people who haven't given birth. And actually, it's a good method because it's long term. So you can put your IUD for ranging from 3 to 7 years, I believe, depending on the type. Actually, even to 10 years. So you just put it there and then you just chill.
Yeah.
So it's not entirely for
Put it there and just for sure. So thank you very much. So we have really talked about the different misconceptions and myths about the use of contraception. So contraception doesn't stop from there, either to the types or how it works or the different myths, but also what it affects. So not only does contraception increase our standards of living, but it also gives mothers and families to safely nurture their children while they haven't got another pregnancy. So to Akeline, so how does contraception play a role in contributing to maternal and child health, or we say women empowerment in such ways?
Sure. So that's a good question that we look into maternity and child health. this topic of contraceptive methods, which is one of the topics that we base on at Contraceptive. So you will say, if I ask you a question, a small one, when you see a mother who has a child, like the firstborn is one and a half year. She has another one of 6 months. So you can imagine the stress. You can imagine the stress that is going with that thing. Like you will find a mother who is complaining of a headache, of like what should I do? So if you say how does it affect their health psychologically, it's going to be hard. Taking care of those babies who are 6 months apart, it's going to be hard. So you can say that with contraceptive methods, we can plan how long we have another baby after the first one, maybe 2 years, 3, 5, and then the standard of living is going to be good. You cannot only leave that alone. You will see the problem stunting that we are fighting with today on this country. And you will remember the number of girls, young girls and young women who get pregnant because of maybe they did not contracept and then they are not prepared for this.
Yeah, for sure.
They have a baby they cannot feed. So it's going to cause most of the effects, including stunting, which is which is also going to affect the health of the mother and the child too. So with the right methods, we can fight this. And I think you also asked me about the women's empowerment and the gender equality. And Dr. Iget talked about something like withdrawal, which is going to be kind of cooperation between a girl or a woman and a husband. So I remember, I love it. Let me check my purse. I went to buy this. It's a condom. If you can see it here, I went to buy this in the morning, and they told me, interesting. They told me the price, and I was like, it's so expensive. Then the shop owner told me, leave that to the husband. The guy should be the one buying this. And if I say if somewhere maybe I go down here, then I'll maybe picking my phone down and the condom falls down. Oh my God. You're going to see how people are going to shout at me. I'm like, this lady is going everywhere with a condom. Who said not? So we have this topic to be discussed between women and guys. Anyway, here we're on women. Maybe we need a guy here. Next time we bring one between. So you say for the contraceptive methods to be accessible, you have to discuss with your husbands. And it's not one or two women who face challenges when they are discussing with the husband, and husbands will be like, no, I need you to get pregnant and give babies. And the woman will be like, I have a job to do. So you can say how it's going to impact the women.
Conflicts of interest.
It's a conflict of interest going to impact the empowerment. So you guys see, the husband will be like, nah, I'm not a feminist. Don't take me long, but there's some husbands, not all of them, are going to be, no, I need you to get pregnant and sit here and do those things. But you need a job, you need to work, you need to be psychologically strong. Yeah.
So I believe the importance of contraception is far beyond what we are talking about. So Akeline, thank you very much for helping us light up all the things that are needed, starting from the psychological support that these mothers need. So I believe this role is not only supposed to be played by mothers or their grandparents, but by the fathers too. So we should also be around and help in the families. Women have careers too, and women also need empowerment. They're also supposed to do other things except raising the kids, and which is actually also a big job. So to our next question, to Dr. Iget. So contraception, also, as we have said, it ranges beyond let's say its access has a lot of constraints, either cultural beliefs or legal beliefs or family beliefs. So different youth are facing barriers to the access of contraceptive use. And I believe there is a big connection. That's not the only cause, but there is a big connection between the teenage pregnancies that are rising and the access of contraception here in Rwanda. So which barriers are there that are hindering the youth to access these contraceptive use, these contraceptive methods? And is there really a connection?
Yeah. So thank you very much for such a good and important question.
Yeah.
So there can be various barriers to how teenage access contraceptions. But I'll tackle 3 of the most important ones.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, I think one of the barriers is lack of knowledge and education. So
Which is what we are trying to do right here.
if you're a Gen Z or a millennial, you definitely know how to use Google. You definitely know how to use ChatGPT.
And
If you are
generation
not-
alpha that's rising.
That's true. If you are not well acquainted with contraceptives, hop on the internet, read about it. I believe if you seek the right knowledge, you know which type of method you need to use. But also, I think there's a problem of limited sex education. I don't think the youth which I think that issue goes along with the cultural barriers. I feel like because of our culture, we don't openly talk about sex education. And it's important because if you are well informed, it would really help us in preventing teenage pregnancy, most especially, and also avoiding sexually transmitted infection. So that could definitely be tackled in a way that like I've first talked. So if you want to know more about it, please go on and read about it. And secondly, you can also do peer education. So in groups, you can talk about sex education, because when you openly talk about it, you get to learn things that you actually didn't know about.
And with the people that are your age mates.
That are your age mates, so you don't feel judged anyhow. So you should practice we listen, we don't judge.
Yeah, sure.
So the second one, there's a very big stigma and social judgment around it, as she said. If you were especially a female and you go in the pharmacy to get a condom, they'll look at you as if you are a prostitute or exactly. So I feel like the stigma around contraception and sex in general is really a big problem in terms of prevention of teen pregnancy and also contraception use. So those people who are judging you are not going to be there to help you raise a child that you conceived in a way that you didn't plan. So please go ahead and consider them as background noise. If you want to use contraception, feel free to use it. And I believe that the more we are open to discuss it or talk about it, the stigma will eventually break.
Sure, you're right.
Which is going to be a good thing for the youth especially. So the third is the access and availability. Most of the people don't know that. I don't know, I'm not sure, but I think most of the youth don't know that contraception is even available up to the health centers. So if you have your health insurance, which is Mituel, you can easily access contraceptions. And
the policies on the age use are being pushed
to 15 to 18 years. And definitely we are sure that we're going to face a problem of decisions, because 15 is not yet adult age. So parents will have to properly discuss with their children about the use of contraception. But I believe prevention is better. So we can avoid any of that by teaching our children or even the youth itself that contraceptions are really available up to the level of the health center, and it's really cheap, accessible.
Yeah, that's very true. So, Akeline, do you have some other barriers that you would also enlighten?
So thank you so much, Iget. Iget was talking about the barriers, and it's good that she started with the knowledge and the lack of the sexual education. Just that reminded me of what we at Contraceptive, we usually go to the fields and we go to the self-education to do sexual health education. So when you go there, Menya Health should join us next time. When you go to the field, that's when you see the burden. You will find like a young girl at the age of maybe 15, 16 or 14 asking you a question. Can I get pregnant if I'm on my period? I don't know if anyone can answer this question. there will be like people say if you have sex in a period, you're not going to get pregnant.
Yep.
If you do sex after period, you're not going to get pregnant. Others say if you do one day after. So all of these topics, this kind of knowledge which is lacking in Rwandan society and maybe around the world is becoming a challenge. And it's good that we develop the policies and maybe we increase the access to this health, maybe by adopting the comprehensive sexual health education that we are advocating for to be advocated in the secondary school. Then even the mothers, let our mothers and our fathers and whoever the neighbors, when you know a topic, if you hit on a topic which is talking about sexual health, please share.
Yeah.
Tell everyone, let everyone know about this so that we fight with this knowledge gap and we try to end this stigma which is around this topic.
Yeah, for sure. So just like they both said, really the stigma is a lot, and with the rising numbers of teenage pregnancy, the only solution starts from our families. So as we conclude in this discussion, let's go to the solutions that the government or different NGOs like Contraceptive or our future healthcare providers or us as youth, which solutions are we having for this reproductive health and to reduce these barriers? Which solutions are we doing?
So I think that if we have to do this to keep advocating for the contraception methods to be advocated, to be adopted everywhere and in Rwanda, organizations, social enterprises that are working on sexual reproductive health like Contraceptive and the government should join hands so that we tackle this issue and we be able to give the facilities and the contraceptive methods that can be accessed anywhere by everyone and anytime.
That's very true. So
Yeah.
thank you very much, Akeline. So as we finish our discussion, I'm going to introduce a really, really small funny game. So you're going to guess the type of contraceptive method I'm going to be talking about. Yeah. So the first one to Dr. Iget. So which type of method sits in your body like a bouncer, like a small bouncer in a nightclub that's going to stop sperms from entering?
I believe that's intrauterine device.
Yeah, very
IUD.
true. Yeah.
It
So-
really sits like a bouncer.
So yeah, it really sits up there in the uterus, so it's going to help us from not getting pregnant. So to another question to Akeline, so which one is going to require us commitment every day? Where we miss one day, it's not going to work.
Oh my God, that should be birth control, right?
Yeah, birth control pill.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that's very right. So as we conclude, so we have really talked about the various methods of contraception. We have talked about the different barriers that the youth are facing or the whole round at large. So we have talked about and tackled the different misconceptions and myths that Rwandans are meeting in accessing the contraceptive services. So we are going to ask one last takeaway lesson, 20 seconds from each person to the youth. Thank you. The comments.
So I think we've really talked about a lot in these conversations, and I think there's a lot of messages for the youth or the people watching us to take away with. But I would really like to remind everyone that contraception is not about preventing life, but its focus is mainly to empower individuals to make better choices for their future, for their health. So it's really a kind of empowerment, because definitely if you're gonna have children at the age of 15, there's a lot that is going to go wrong or unplanned in your life. So contraceptives are important. It's an important conversation. Let's talk about it. Let's normalize it. Let's educate our children about it. And